most of last year, and he struggled, as CeCe just alluded to, completing only 50% of his passes and turning the ball over twice in the Texans' loss. Brady, back after missing out on another Super Bowl win, didn't miss a beat, throwing for 277 yards and 3 touchdowns. Brady said after the game, New England can be even better moving forward.
I don't think we played, anywhere near what our capabilities are, so I think it's good to win, obviously, but, we got to do a lot better than that. I think just turning the ball over and not taking advantage of some opportunities that we had out there. All of us probably look at the game and realize we could have done a lot of things differently.
I think it was terrible on my part. So you can I just feel like you can put the L on me because I'll be way much better than what I showed today. Just my energy was low and just overthinking little things, but. We just got to capitalize in the red zone. Don't turn the ball over, and just kind of continue to do what we do. Take it one play at a time, be on the same page, and just go from there.
CeCe, if there were questions about the Patriots offense, we certainly didn't think there were going to be any questions about this Texans defense. So how impressed were you by what the Patriots were able to do against Houston yesterday?
Well, I thought the Patriots would shore up the offensive line. I mean, they're well coached. There's a reason why you don't pay Nate Solder all that money. It's hard to manage the salary cap. So Dante Scarnecchia, best offensive line coach, I believe, in NFL. He shored up that just to give Brady enough protection. They're going to run the ball enough just so you can't tee off on them. I knew they would throw the ball, throw it short to a bunch of guys, try to get some catch and runs. And Gronk's going to have 8 to 10 receptions until Edelman gets back to be able to demand the slot. This is how they play football. They've done it for a long, long time. It's systematic. They use different people, but Philip Dorsett got him involved in the game. That's what they're going to do, utilize his overall speed and quickness, try to get him the ball early. But no, not surprised at all. I believe the Texans defense, they still have question marks in their front seven, like how good they're going to be on paper. Like at this point in this career, who is J.J. Watt? Clowney at this point in his career, who is he? Wynton Merciless, like, is he still a good player? There's a lot of question marks about Houston going into this game without Will Fuller as their quarterback. I'm not surprised. With the quarterback without Will Fuller, so I'm not surprised that the quarterback struggled in New England to start the season. I still believe he's going to have a good year, but I just believe people's expectations of Deshaun are just not realistic.
Yeah, as far as Deshaun goes, we talked about this last week, that the question wasn't, will he regress? It's how much he will regress. If he didn't regress, like what he did through a 6-game sample last year, it'd be the best. You extrapolate that over a career, it's the best career in NFL history. So we knew he was going to fall back somewhat. Now, yesterday was a particularly bad performance by him. He fumbles the opening handoff. That was not done by the Patriots. That was a bad job by him. He missed a touchdown throw when the Texans, I think, intelligently went for it on 4th down. They just missed the throw. He had a bad interception. But to me, the bigger story is the Patriots, because we talked about their losses on offensive line, and all of a sudden Brady only gets hit 5 times. Trent Brown looks good. And all the good words you and Coach Mangini have been saying about Dante Scarnecchia appear to be true. We talk about who's going to catch balls with Edelman out of the game. Well, evidently the answer is 8 different guys. Philip Dorsett. We were talking about Dorsett and Cordarrelle Patterson. One of them coming onto the scene as a former first-round pick for another team that gave up on him. Well, Dorsett had the best game of his NFL career yesterday, where he looked like a legitimate NFL starting caliber wide receiver. And not surprisingly, everyone in the world knew going into this game the Pats were going to heavily feature Rob Gronkowski, and the Texans had no answer for it. We knew that Gronk was going to be Brady's first and second option, and repeatedly he was, whether it was the touchdown early, the huge play at the end of the first half that probably wasn't a catch but was called a catch and set up the touchdown. Like, Gronk made play after play, and Tom Brady was Tom Brady. The Deshaun Watson had a bad game, and he at least took accountability for it afterwards. But I think it was more about the Patriots answering whatever questions we had going into the season on their offensive line and even in their receiving core.
So, Nick, let me ask you, one of the things we talked about going in when we talked about this matchup was the coaching differential between what Bill Belichick brings to the table and what Bill O'Brien brings to the table, and that manifested itself in the game. You were all fired up about it this morning.
Well, you saw, listen, I mean, we said last week that going into most games, Bill Belichick has about a 3-point schematic edge on his opponent, and Bill O'Brien in his career has shown you that Monday to Saturday, he is, I think, a good to very good NFL coach, but on Sunday, something gets away from him. And on the play I alluded to with Gronkowski, that, listen, it should have been ruled an incomplete pass. They should have buzzed down to have it reviewed. But the last line of defense there is Bill O'Brien and his 3 timeouts with 40 seconds left on a huge play to call timeout and give them time to review it when you see the Patriots running up to the line. Asked about it, he said, it's not my job. It is absolutely your job. It's no one else's job. Like, the refs screwed up. You had a chance to fix it, give them a chance to fix it. And then at the end of the game, like, you're down 14 points with 4 minutes left and you're punting the football. I mean, that is the football version of waving the white flag. Now, what was frustrating to me, was Deshaun didn't play well. I didn't think O'Brien made great decisions. Deshaun, the young quarterback, after the game, takes full accountability for all of it. Says, I've got to play better. This is on me. O'Brien, the head coach, says, basically, you guys don't know what you're talking about. That's not my job. You would expect your coach to at least be on par with accountability as your 23-year-old quarterback.
Well, with you working in Houston, I think sometimes when you follow teams locally, I think you can be far more critical. You see how teams operate. You kind of see some of the stuff behind the scenes. That's not my story from a national level. I know about Bill O'Brien's reputation. I think that he's mismanaged the clock in tough situations. He hasn't necessarily made the best decision. I still think that, the jury's still out on him, how good he's going to be as a head coach. In this situation, what I think he was trying to explain, and not knowing their system, how they do things, they have someone in the booth that's going to tell the coach if they believe they have enough information to review a play during real time. Now, when you have a 2-minute drive, yes, you can wait to depend on New York, but the players in the NFL, the offensive players, are smart. They know anytime there is a play that can go either way, all the teams are immediately going to the huddle, rushing the referees because they know it is kind of it's the system. And that's the way you're able to beat the system, is by getting the play off, because once a snap is, you can't review it. So he's in a tough spot. If he doesn't get the right information, or the people tell him, we don't have a good look at it, we don't know what it looks like, it's a judgment call up to the coach. But as far as the quarterback stepping up and saying it was his fault in the game and the coach, I don't have no problem with that, because at the end of the day, the coach is the only one who takes the loss. When you look at a coach, he's judged on what is his record. After the game, you don't see players, hey, Chris, what's your record? They talk about the coach and his record. So it's not like Deshaun every game is, oh, man, this is going on his personal resume. So I don't have a problem with that. I think sometimes when you're local and you've been close to people, you see little things, and those are little things that are more apt to set you off. Now I'm a part of the national media, so I don't see it that way. So I don't think that was the difference in the game.
All right, we got to take a break. Coming up on the other side, what went